Please introduce yourself.
I'm Nick from RELOOP. I'm working as a product expert and mainly working for marketing and events like this, but as well developing new equipment and doing the support for artists. So I'm kind of a person in all between at the company RELOOP DJ.
So RELOOP has got a really interesting history because you started out as a retailer, I believe.
Even further back then, we started as a club. So our previous owner, he was a club manager in Münster and a techno underground venue. And from this on, he opened up a store. And then we're selling like several stuff. Nice, was around 1996. And some of the employees that started in the club are still working for us nowadays. And so we are a lot of DJs-based people, production people, musicians and DJs. And back then we started with the shop, and we started like the owner said, I'm gonna set a turntable, I'm gonna put it in front of the desk, and he sold it in less than 22 minutes and said, well, I need to do my own brand. So this is how the background of it. We still got the store, so the brand is under the roof of global distribution. And we got RELOOP DJ, RELOOP Hi-Fi. Now we're doing also hi-fi turntables from our experience. And besides, we also have a furniture brand called Glorious.
So it's good to know that you've got that heritage and tradition of being in the culture.
Yes, yes. And for us, it's very important to be connected to the culture, because everything that we did in our products, what we tried to improve from all the, let's say, golden era times of 90s, 80s, we tried to bring it into the new era of digital mixing and also digital scratching and all this kind of stuff. So we working with a lot of artists that are around here on our products. And let's say, because we are musicians and producers and DJs, we know how important it is as a small brand. We're only 50 people, so it's a small brand in terms of people working for us. So we are very dependent on our colleagues, on all our partners, from distributions to artists and all those people. And only this way we can do certain solutions for DJs or certain ideas that are different in the market and in between the big other companies.
And tell me how working with Sample Music Festival benefits you.
Well, Sample Music Festival is a pretty nice thing, because when we started, we always, my first Sample Music Festival is maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And the nice thing is that there are scratch DJs around, there are finger drummers around, there are producers, and everybody that's like into something niche. And we did a lot of focus on our products and stuff of niche. And to make these kind of niche stuff in our products, to put these features inside, we need a lot of knowledge. How to use it, how to improve it, how to make it better. And this feature might only serve 0.01% of the DJs or of the producers. But this is how we can show or prove in the business that we care about those people.
And of course you're creating differentiation.
Exactly, and they also like to promote us because we're doing something that promotes their business, so they also like to help us growing our business. And that's like hand in hand, we can grow and also let the people that maybe don't use these features convince that if you want to go further on your road, you have a lot more to discover on your product.
So take us through those products.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, in front of here, we got the new Mixon 8. It got a bit delayed in the release, but it's finally here. It's a 4-channel controller, but it's like mainly the most hybrid controller on the market. Means you can connect it to a computer, you can put an iPad, you can connect it with a Windows computer. So many different devices that you could connect it to. You have the option to use 2 devices at the same time, and you can use two different sources at the same time. That means also that you could use 2 softwares at the same time, so that you also can convince from different kind of styles of mixing. And furthermore, we put a bit of our battle style stuff inside this one. And we also focus mainly here to have like a flexible all kind of chip. So it's a controller for DJs who like to play on on any kind of venues. Like you can play with this in the club, you can play with this on any mobile gig, meaning like weddings or open source stuff. You have 2 microphone inputs. You can connect turntables to it, so you can use actually DVS for scratching if you want more. And if you do scratching, the DVS signal also moves the same on your jog wheel. So you can use either jog wheel or DVS. Yeah, it's built solid, so the top is made out of metal. So any DJs know the situation when they have drunk people around. They always want to make sure that no liquid gets inside. So this is metal. If you move it up, you quickly push away the liquid and it might not go to the motherboard if you have luck. But yes, this is like a flagship for all kind of DJs that like to have a flexible unit for all kind of styles. Besides, we got the small body controller. The body controller is like a mini version of this. The idea was to have a device that in the same size of a MacBook 13-inch, so I could place it actually on top of it. It also have like protection so you don't hit the keyboard. And at the same time, this one uses more Algorithm DJ, the software which comes from the app. By the way, this app is for free to download. You have like this setup when you open the software the first time. So it looks like 2 turntables and a fader. And if you connect it to a device like this, you can use all those things like it would be a small setup. And the idea is nowadays that digital world is so important. We DJs would like to scratch everywhere where we can. So portabilism is a big game. And this is like portable digital playing. So if I can make promotion of my party or next week or whatever, I have a small device that I can easily use wherever I am, can prepare my sets, but also do scratching performances wherever I want to do for marketing purposes or whatever. So this is the main concept behind it, but it's mainly made more for beginners. We also have the Ready, which has the same size of it, but it's more a switcher between a professional and an entry-level product. We always focus that we put, for example, red RGB pads inside, because the RGB function is a pro function. But if you compare this to all other products in the same size, the main difference that you're going to see is that we have RGB colors. This makes the product way more costful, but we also want to make sure that they have a certain level of growth in their equipment. That's the main reason behind it. Besides, there's a huge new product, the Flux. Well, the Flux is an DVS interface. This interface, when Serato started with DVS back in the days, we had a lot of interfaces like that. Nowadays, there's no interfaces left. So there's no actually interfaces nowadays with a competitive driver being compatible with Serato nowadays. So we did a new version of our interpretation of a Serato DJ interface in 2022. It has 3 channels inside, and you can connect 3 turntables or 3 CDJs or whatever inside and outside. The main reason nowadays, the most gear and the most products in the market are products that are bought in second hand. People sell their old gear or whatever. So when I started as a DJ, I had maybe 50 to 60 bucks for 2 turntables and a mixer, and it was nothing. I got like very broke turntables and a very broke mixer. But what I needed was a digital world, so I can play any track on my records. So I needed a device like this. The good option is that you can make any old gear modern. That was the big revolution in the 2006-07. But nowadays, I still have in Germany especially, you have a lot of venues where they have gear placed when you come there. So you use the gear that it's made in the club. So I'm a drum and bass DJ, and I arrive and I play a 1-hour set or 1.5-hour set. So I need a backup. If I'm arriving and the DJ before me plays, I can't do a firmware update on the Pioneer mixer or any mixer that's placed there to be sure that it works with my Serato. So I always want to have a backup in my pocket. The special thing of this one is that even if it's not connected to your computer, you can already check the entry signals. So I can check if my right and left channel from the cartridge is arriving well, and my cables are in order. So I have a lot of options to check before I start without doing a sound check. Furthermore, I have the option to switch here between line and phono signals. Depends on what you want to choose, on turntables or CJs or any other stuff. On the other side, I can use, with the two USB-C ports, I can connect my original power supply of my MacBook, so I can power the device, and I have another connection to connect my computer. This unit powers through my MacBook, and I have the advantage of two more USB ports, because nowadays the MacBooks have very less ports, and we thought it might be useful to be safe. If you want to use only two channels, as main DJs use two channels, then you have the third channel for your entry to record a clean mix or to do a live stream. So the main advantage on these devices and on all our products is that no one of our products requires any drivers for macOS. Meaning that if you, with your original Serato, gonna jump on, you are plug and play, ready to go. And that's the main philosophy that we're following. Since the old devices are discontinued by drivers, we thought this might be a huge advice. The license from Serato is worth around $400, $399, and the unit costs around 450. So mainly you get the license for free, the gear for free with the license. So I think it's a fair deal. Besides this, we have the RP8000 MK2 turntables and the Elite mixer, and the RELOOP stand hub on top of the record, which is mainly a DJ hub and a solution for DJs to have more ports, as we just talked about, and also to have the opportunity to have less things to think about. When I'm packing my bag, I have so many things as a turntablist to carry on, and sometimes you forget something, and that's very important to maybe put things together so you have less things to take with. The two turntables are RP8000 MK2, our most advanced turntables. The most advanced thing and the connection to the Sample Music Festival, which is very, very important, is that these turntables, we call them turntable instrument. Not because you could use turntables as an instrument, since we know from this competition scratching can be like performing on a guitar or any other instrument. No, we have a mode. When we press shift and reset, we get in the platter play mode. And we cut.
It reminds me of the Vestex.
Yeah, Vestex had this feature in the past, and we tried to get this feature to the interpretation of nowadays. So as we know, if you change the pitch, you change the height of your tone. And when you change the height of your tone, you can calculate how much percentage of pitch gonna change which tone. And this kind of mathematics helps us to use different kind of melodic tones, so we can play the platter as a keyboard. And the huge advantage of this is that I can play a current tone, which is like currently playing. I can switch between the notes, so you can see in the display that the notes are switching.
So these are like frets.
Yes, and the main advantage is, besides like pitch play and other features on software, is that while I'm doing a continuous tone on switching it, I can still grab my hand in between on the decks and can manipulate it with scratching. So I can scratch and change values at the same time. We put like around 12 months extra to enable a feature like that, which maybe, since we talked at the beginning, only 0.01% are using. So I always try to highlight these features, but I know it's not for everyone. But if you go back to all your basic features that you use with MIDI functions, with all the features that you know from Serato, then you know I can still advance or improve myself as a DJ, getting maybe an artist for any kind of stuff. And this was the idea behind it, so we can prove that we actually doing the most advanced turntables on the market, and that also proves our ability on the other turntable models that we are selling. On the side, you have the opportunity to connect it between we have two outputs, so you can connect it basically to phono and line at the same time. And besides, we have a USB out for the MIDI functions and another USB port where you can either hook up another turntable for getting connection for MIDI, or otherwise you can connect a MIDI keyboard to use this splatter play feature on the side. You could actually also run, this is like the very rare stuff that also I learned from guys here at the Sample Music Festival, where a guy came up and said, you know about synthablism? And I said, like, no, I don't have no fucking idea what you're talking about. So I tried to learn from them, and they told me, like, look, if I integrate this feature on my current Ableton project, I can actually do like very crazy stuff. And I still don't get it 100%, but it's those kind of stuff that makes me happy. Because we put so much work in it, and there's somebody creating new music, new styles, and new
Yeah, of course, because what we're essentially seeing is this becomes a controller for plugins, VST plugins, right?
Yeah.
So you could use this as to control synths,
yeah,
for example.
Yeah, and I'm always impressed how the subcultures give us feedback about stuff or reinvent stuff that we have in features that we didn't thought about. And that brings us also the knowledge or the thoughts to get for new products, and helps us also to find niches where we can fit, maybe as a small brand, ideas of a niche that might need more focus.
Yeah,
like
positioning the product right for that market.
Everybody of the DJs, even if they are just DJing one song after another, if I show them the feature, they're getting mind blown. And maybe this helps to promote the product, one thing, but the other thing is also I can promote musicians. And I can give them the boundary of the opportunities as a DJ, what you can do. And that's what we stand for.
Yes.
We are solutions for DJs, and we try to find gaps to also make shine the niche, because we think it can grow a new community or a new kind of style. And sometimes this kind of combination of Sample Music Festival, people coming around, thinking about products or telling me their feedback, can make our products better. We mainly, as we're working with 50 people, we are dependent on artists, on people telling us what they think might be the future. We always need to do compromises and survive as a company, but I can tell you more freely what compromise we're taking on products. So why are we doing this instead of that? Or what costs this in production than this? And that's maybe sometimes better to get also the people on the same hand, to let them see behind the curtain what it takes to make this kind of decision for us.
So you're being very transparent with your customers.
That's the idea, because that's our benefit as a small brand, to also show the people and give them the knowledge to understand us better in the business. Because I started with support, so I get all these annoyed questions about this and that, and I love this because it helps me so much to understand. I am a DJ myself, so I know what it feels like Friday afternoon having a problem with your gear when you are just up to the next venue. And this helps making a difference. And in combination of the AP8000, we did the Elite. The Elite is a battle mixer, a pro-level advanced battle mixer with 3 Mini Innovator Pro inside, which are very, very precise. Everybody that is turntablist or scratcher, they should do their own checks. We have a lot of turntablists here which are using the Elite mixer of the favor, and they are all artists that we met here that are now working with us together. So we met them at Sample Music Festival first time. They get in connection with us. They like what they see. They like what they tested. Because I always try to tell the people, test your gear. Nowadays, as 95% is online sales, so people buying the stuff and they don't test it. I can tell you that this is the best mixer for you, but you should prove it yourself. And those artists did, and they liked what they tested at, and that's why you should come around for Sample Music Festival, because you have the opportunity to talk to us, give us direct feedback, what you like, what you don't like, and we can see you how to get you the most stuff out of it.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And tell me one other thing. Where do you think that this culture is moving to? You alluded to the fact that we have the possibility of becoming musicians and beyond just a niche of just being a turntablist or a finger drummer, but actually you can go out and be a full-on performer with this. Is that the vision that you have?
Well, to be honest, what we see nowadays is that technology taking over practice. And that's a huge problem. So if I'm telling a 12-year-old young boy to do 3 months of lessons in scratching, to get some kind of acknowledge or presence in the scene, he want to say like, but I can just do some, I don't know, jumping from a plane and DJing in the air, and I just get followers like that and recognition, so why should I start scratching? So it's always tough to sell the future, but always this kind of art form went from something creative where styles like hip-hop got invented by this kind of styles. And let's see where it gets to. And synthtablism is a small example of how way you can interpret this kind of techniques. But also with the digital world, like the Mixon 8 Pro and stuff, I also see much grow. I just came back from a South America tour, and I see so many young DJs being interested in those kind of stuff. And they always want to learn how to scratch. They just want to learn it quicker. So it's also about us, grown DJs, to give them the opportunity to see what is possible in this world and what is the way to learn. You don't have to bring back the VHS like back in the days to learn a trick. Nowadays you have millions of tutorials. So any young DJs that are interested in this kind of features, we did like 10 videos of the platter play feature with Angelo and other DJs, which explain this feature very detailed. And we're putting this effort because we also want that this culture survives and also finds new way to grow. But currently, I also see that it's getting smaller. So that's a very important thing why we are here, because we want to keep this culture alive. That's one of our passions.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for coming around.
That was brilliant.